That's a good experience for you. So now you can know.
I was trying to feel.
Happy Wednesday. Happy Wednesday. Happy Wednesday.
Yes, yes, especially after eating pizza.
Him, not me. And that's what I was telling him.
Yes, happy,
You
happy,
don't
happy
jumpstart
Wednesday.
your car with
Wait,
things that weigh it down.
whew,
You jumpstart it with things that nourish it.
oh my
Next time,
goodness,
I will bring you some
good,
cucumber juice. How do
gracious.
you feel? You feel like you're ready for a nap?
Yeah,
I know.
I feel like I'm like ready for a nap.
Like your
And
energy.
I just had a slice of pizza, and I'm like, oh my god, then we got to go to, we're going to Tampa
But
for a workshop.
that's so good for you to experience that and share with our viewers and watchers, because when we're talking about energy, your energy was doing like this before you ate that pizza,
Yeah,
and that pizza is low vibrational,
I mean it's like a
and
drug.
you just put it in there, and your energy started doing like this,
Oh my god, it's like a drug.
and it's the start of your day.
I can feel it.
But that's good. So now that you know better, you'll do better.
Of course, it's never
Right.
gonna happen to me again.
Right. So start your day with fruit, please.
I hadn't had pizza in a long time.
But doesn't matter. You slow down your
know.
vibration. You don't have to do
I
that.
see that. I see that. But it was a continuation for our office Valentine's Monopoly game.
Wasn't that lovely?
Yes, yes. And it was all
so
decorated.
lovely.
And we had a Monopoly playing Monopoly. My grandson always talk a lot. Boy, he married myself talking a lot of trash during the Monopoly.
Why
game.
you had my child doing them push-ups? I think that was a little bit of bullying, actually.
No, he kept saying, old man. Oh, he kept calling me 70-year-old. I said, 70-year-old can do more push-ups than you. No, he can't. No, I can't. I said, okay, let me see if you knock
And
out
you
100.
recorded him doing push-ups. And he could do like 25.
I forgot I recorded him.
Send that to me. You were bullying my son.
That's not a bully. He challenged.
He did.
He walked right
he talked
into
a lot of smack.
A lot of smack.
Yeah, he
Telling me
does.
I'm 70 years old and I'm old. And I was like, I bet I can do more push-ups than you. No, you can't. No, you can't. I can. I said, I can do 100. I can do 100 too. Okay.
He said if an old man can do, if a 70-year-old can do 100 push-ups, I can do 100 push-ups.
That's right. And he's 12 years old.
And he couldn't do 100.
No, he was struggling at 25.
Right.
And then after he did it, he sat in the chair sideways.
Right. Doing all like this.
He said like this.
And then you bothered him. What's wrong with you? Why you sitting like that?
I could have bothered him more, you know. The old Junebug in me could have came out. But I said, nah, that's my grandson. It's a lesson to him. He'll never forget that as long as he lives.
It's a very good lesson. I'm glad that you taught him that lesson. I'm teasing you, telling you that you're bullying him, but he needed to know that lesson.
That's such a great lesson.
Do not write a check that your butt can't cash.
That's right.
You know,
and saying I'm old and he young and all that, you know.
Yeah.
Wisdom always comes before age. Do you know that?
Mm-hmm.
Wisdom will always trump age.
Yeah, I agree.
Every time.
Yeah, I agree. All right, so we kind of just started the show with Mr. Henderson started his day with pizza, and he's not going to do that anymore. And as we're talking about energy, frequency, and vibration, before we get into that, I am Hyacinth Henderson of the Henderson Financial Group. He is
Robert Henderson Jr., certified financial planner, certified tax coach, president, founder, and CEO of the Henderson Financial Group.
Yes. And today we are going to continue the conversation. For the past 2 weeks, we've been on energy, frequency, and vibration, which I love. I love that. I like metaphysics. I love talking about it, living it, just being it, and exploring it. And I'm so glad that we were able to bring it to our viewers for the past 2 weeks. And Mr. Henderson loved it too. So he said, let's talk about the law of compensation today. And I thought that would be fitting to you because you like compensation. You like compensation.
I think everybody should like this law called the law of compensation. I like it for a lot of reasons because the effects of it is tremendous. And it really has made my life much more easy, especially navigating through the life that we're in right now. The law of compensation really helps you along your journey and makes things just a little easier for you because, you know, in the world, we need currency. You know, we need something to trade with. And compensation is something to be able to what you receive after you've actually put in the work, so to speak.
Yeah,
it's
so
like a reward.
Let me read this really quickly. It says the law of compensation is another restatement of the law of sowing and reaping. It says that you will always be compensated for your efforts and for your contribution, whatever it is, however much or however little. When I think of this, it's in alignment with a thought that I had earlier today as I was reflecting about boundaries and things like that. And I think it's human nature, or I've observed that it's human nature for a lot of us to want to rescue and save other people. And the thought that I had was, when you try to rescue and save other people, you are interrupting or not acknowledging the law of compensation, which says people get exactly what they give. They get what they give and they are where they're supposed to be. So a lot of times we allow people's sob stories or their circumstances or whatever the case may be, and we may look at it from one perspective or from one viewpoint, not realizing that the universal laws are just. They don't miss a beat, they don't skip anybody. And when you think about that, you can sit here and really, really say, I can't interrupt like the divine laws. You are, I hear what you're saying and I understand how it looks. And I do empathize with you. But the law of compensation says whatever it is that you give, you get. And it's not, we're not just talking about money. We are also talking about where you are in life, where you are in your relationships, where you are in your job, like whatever your sob story is. And most humans have a sob story. Whatever it is, you have a sob story where you feel like you're victimized. Whatever it is, you have, you are receiving that because what you have given to the world. What do you think about that?
Well, I like that. And as you was talking, I was thinking about that, and you're exactly right. But the thing, what makes it complicated, Heisey, is because it's always one way. When I was growing up, they'd say, you know, forgive me, cat lovers, but I used to hear old saying, there's always more than one way to skin a cat. You know, I'm not, okay, forgive me. This is a saying.
It's, and we got to get over that old sensitive thing. If you're sensitive, click off.
Okay.
Click
So
off.
so when you was talking and what you're saying is spot on. It is what it is. We are where you are, wherever you are, there's a reason, there's a
That's
cause
it.
and effect why you're there. And that's true. That's a fact. That really is a fact. But there's other laws that intertwine that go with that. And I'll give you an example. I thought of the number 3. You know, there's several ways to get to the number 3, the effect of 3. You could say 1 plus 1 plus 1 is 3. You can always say 2 plus 1 is 3. You know, or you can always say 1.5 plus 1.5 is 3. The cause is different, but the effect is still 3. So, and what I mean by that is, let's look at an example, because I like to give examples and paint pictures so people can, because a lot of times pictures are worth 1,000 words. So what you said is spot on. So let's look at the example of one of my heroes, Shiro's,
Harriet Tubman.
You know, I was gonna say that.
I said it in unison with you.
You
We
sure
didn't even
did.
practice.
You said, I mean, I'm so proud of her, and she represents more than just the story. The story is a metaphor for us. The story is a metaphor, actually, of love too. You know, because you know it's like a parent, you know, for their children. You know, even though children do some things, parents still don't want to give up. They want to always be there. Like for all 5 of my kids, I've always told them, you know, whatever you do, I always keep the light on for you. Always keep the light on for you. What that really means that, and it's a take from the prodigal son story. You know, you can go out there and you're in the wilderness and whatever, mess up. But when you time, you say, okay, I got it right. When you come home, you can always come home. In other words, I always got your back. I don't care what you do, in spite of the stuff you do. Okay. So the story about Harriet Tubman is, you know, it was really tough for her to break free. I mean, she said there was one of 2 things that she had to have. And the 2 things, and she said she had one of them. The 2 of them was death or liberty, freedom. She's got to have one of them. No, I can't have both, but I got to have one of them. So she died trying to get liberty. And she made it to the promised land. She made it up north out of slavery, and she was free. And she could have said, you know, the heck with the rest of them. This is divine order. They didn't do what I did. I'm going to stay here and just wallow in all of my glory. They could have came. I asked them to come, but they didn't. But in terms of the love, the terms of the unisons, the terms of the, I would say we're all linked together. In terms of the understanding, a lot goes back in. That's pretty much what a parent, a loving parent would have done for their children. You know, a lot of parents would say they would run into a burning building to save their child, you know, or they'll jump into the water, the ocean. They can't even swim to save their child. It's pretty much the same thing. So Harriet could have said the heck with him. She could have said that, but then she said, I'm going to risk my life and go back because what I feel I want for others. And that's what love is about. Sometimes when have you ever seen a good movie or ate something good and you say, oh, I want to tell people about this, I want them to feel this, this sensation. I want to feel this experience. And you do a lot with people who you love, get it?
Mm-hmm.
You're laughing. All right. Go ahead.
No. I know you were going somewhere with that.
All right,
Harriet Tubman and the law of compensation.
So anyway, she went back and she saved, and she freed a whole lot of slavery. She said slaves. She said she could have freed a whole lot more had they knew that they were slaves. Now, in that point, that is a divine order, because you can't make someone. If she would have drugged them,
she would have been out of order.
Not even she would have been out of order, she would have got caught because they'd have been screaming and kicking and screaming. Right. But the one that said, thank you so much, Harry, come back and get us. They went with her. They obeyed her. There was one guy that said, hey, you don't know what you're doing. And she said, I will kill you, because she kept a pistol in her waist. She said, I will kill you.
Shoot him dead.
Before I let you go back and the masters torture you until you tell them our path. So in other words, so going back, that's why I said the law is true in divine order, in law of compensation, but you gotta ask, gotta seek, you gotta want it. And that's when your path, whatever you believe, the law of attraction comes into play with that law of compensation.
And so these laws are in effect regardless of your consciousness or awareness of them. So you may not ask for certain things. You just know that you are getting what you give. You are being compensated according to what you give out into the world. That's it. What you are consistently giving energetically is a reflection of what you see manifested in your 3D reality. In other words, when I say manifested in your 3D reality, because some of y'all think that 3D reality is the only reality, and it is not.
No.
So I am making the distinction between 3D reality and energy, because your 3D reality is a result of the energy, the frequency, and the vibration that you're consistently, your dominant vibration. And so here's the thing. Sometimes people think that their thoughts and their actions that nobody else sees, they get away scot-free from those things. And you don't, because your thoughts are even more powerful than what you're doing now, because your thoughts precede your next action. Your thought precede manifestation. So let's tie this back into the law of compensation. Whatever you are thinking, whatever you are predominantly, consistently thinking about, if you're thinking about ism and schism and moving and cheating and all this stuff, and you 2/4 slick and you manipulating, your reality shows that, and you are being compensated accordingly. So when you look at things and you realize that everything you touch turns to, or you can't get ahead, or nothing seems to be working out for you, please don't mistake the fact that you are being compensated in 3D reality. You are seeing and experiencing manifested what you are thinking, what you are predominantly vibrating. You cannot get away. I always say that people attempt to trick other people and they worry about hiding from other people, but them laws gonna hit you every single time.
Yeah, because most people, like you said, daughter, most people are going about their lives, their everyday lives, in 3D, third dimension, when all the power and all the action is in the unseen, which is the fourth dimension. In case in point, if you're looking at something head on, face on, you can't see the other side of it. And just because you can't see the other side of it doesn't mean that it's not there. In other words, if you're looking straight, you don't have eyes in the back of your head. So that doesn't mean just because you don't have eyes in the back of your head, since you don't see it, doesn't mean that there's some stack of books in a bookshelf in the back of my head. And some people swear their life, since they can't see it, that there is no, and they don't have eyes in the back of their head, that there is no books in the back of my head, because everything that's in fourth dimension, you can't see with your naked eye. You can't. all the power is in the fourth dimension. And I only start talking about the fifth dimension. All that's the invisible. But we're sharing this. We're a financial planning firm. And the reason why we're sharing this, because we're trying to give you the secrets, the material that you need, that you're missing. Because the stuff that they give you, you know, how to get rich or how to be wealthy or budget or whatever, you got to get more than that. It's just black and white. You got to get understanding. That's why the good book said all the ancient books says, and all you're getting, get understanding. And most of us are limited to our five senses, and that's why we can't get right. That's why we don't understand, because we're not looking right with our naked eye. We're not seeing what our seeing eye, and the seeing eye is not a physical eye; it's a metaphysical eye.
Going back to your example about the bookshelf,
Right?
do you know that there are people, 85% of the people, because 85% of people operate at a low level of consciousness. That just is what it is. But 85% of the people will be sitting here and saying, there ain't no bookshelf behind me.
That's right.
There ain't no bookshelf.
Because they don't see it.
I'm telling you, there is no bookshelf behind me. What do you mean? How you gonna tell me there is no bookshelf behind me? If you just turn around and look, I can show you. No. I'm looking this way. Why would I look back that way? That's the equivalent of saying that's not true because they ain't put it on the news.
Yeah.
Why they ain't tell us about this?
Yeah.
What you and Mr. Henderson talking about? Why they ain't teach us this? That ain't true. I ain't gonna try. Yeah, and still, the life that you're living is not the life that you really want to be living, not the life of your desires, right? So when we think about going back to talking about we're a financial planning firm and how this is the laws and metaphysics is the foundation. It really is. So right now, because of the current state of the economy, I made the decision to waive the $100 discovery call fee. And when you book the fee in big, bold, underlined letters, I say, hey, due to the current state of the economy, we have made the decision to waive the $100 fee. If, however, you miss your call, you do not reschedule it before your call, you will have to pay the $100 fee. Because here I am having a heart saying, let me help the people, right?
Right.
Let me help the people. Most people, they make their calls. They're on time. Monday, I had a 3:00 call. She ain't call. She ain't send a kite. She ain't send a letter. Nothing.
So you see a little pigeon, a little bird with
no hootie hoo with
a
nothing.
message on it.
Nothing.
A telegram.
Later on that evening, I'm sorry I missed my call. I forgot. Can you waive the $100 fee for me? Now, here's the interesting thing about it. Earlier that day, I had another call, and this man called right on time. And what he said to me, we did our call. It was such a pleasure speaking with him too. He's like 70 years young, and it was such a pleasure speaking with him. So we did our call, and at the end of the call, he says, "Now you must have sent me like 100 reminders about this call." And I said, yes, I wanted to make sure you didn't forget it. Da, 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 da. So here it is a few hours later, this lady telling me she forgot. Can I waive? Let's go to the law of compensation. You are where you are because you're supposed to be there.
Right.
So no, I can't waive the $100 fee.
That's right.
You have to pay to get some skin in the game.
That's right.
If you want to be able to talk to us.
That's
because
right.
if not, we'll be breaking divine laws. Does that make sense?
Makes a whole lot of sense, because I go back to the story of Harriet Tubman when she was free and she went back to save the other slaves. When she told you to be at a certain spot, because we're getting ready, the train getting ready to move. They're getting ready to move. And if you're talking about, hold on, wait a minute.
That's right.
She can't got time for that. So the people that are there, they're serious. They want to break free. Yeah. So that's, and she took those people with her. But if you're not there, you don't supposed to be there because you're not ready.
Exactly.
It's a very telling story.
Gosh.
It's a fact. You're not ready. So
You're
you can't
ready.
get, why I'm broke? Why I don't have no money? Why I don't have no job? Why ain't this?
Why won't you wait for me? Why won't you? You ain't even supposed to be here right now.
Yeah.
What are you doing here?
Yeah.
We tried, but you proved that you don't supposed to be here. Since there was confirmation that you don't supposed to be here, go back to where you're supposed to be, right? Be okay with being in this season instead of going to the next season. And so when you were speaking, something came to mind, and it says, are you stronger than your excuses? Because a lot of times people are so comfortable with their excuses, but yet and still they say that they want to elevate. And it's like, how do you want to elevate, but you always have an excuse for yourself? Like I told somebody the other day, if you're making excuses for yourself, I know you're gonna give me excuses.
Oh yeah.
If you got every excuse why you didn't do what you said you was gonna do for yourself,
yeah,
What could I possibly think you are going to give me? You're going to give me more than you give yourself?
And oftentimes people that make a lot of excuses, they're what we call a habitual excuser. Made that one up.
I was gonna say, did you just make that
Just
up?
made that
I
up.
never heard
A
that.
habitual excuser.
Okay.
You know, just all the time. Just got a habit of
Yeah.
this had happened. This what had happened. You know?
And habitual excusers
Mhm.
are also victims. They have victim mindsets.
Yes.
So they make excuses and then they fall into the space of victimhood of why they ain't waiting for me. Or why she ain't waited a fee for me. I just missed the call. Why she didn't waive the fee.
Yeah.
Right? Or Harriet Tubman. I wasn't on time or whatever the case may be. Why she didn't wait for me. So you have to ask yourself, check your excuses, check your priorities, because those two things will show you why you're being compensated in the manner that you are being compensated. Like, do you really deserve this? Like, are you really supposed to have all the stuff that you're dreaming about? Are you really supposed to have all the stuff that you see the people on the internet with? I know you want it. Like, what do you say, Mr. Henderson? That's my car. That's my car. That's me.
That's not. When I grow up, that's gonna be my car.
That's me.
Remember when you was
I'ma
kids,
have
when I
that.
grow up, I'm gonna have that. That's my car. That's my car. That's my house. When I grow up, and you ain't doing nothing, no action. The law of action, you ain't doing nothing. You know, if you're just joining us for the
Mhm.
first time today or ever, I'm Robert Henderson Jr. I'm a certified financial planner. This is my daughter, Hyas Henderson. She's a registered investment advisor. We've been in this business for a long time. Henderson Financial Group has been around for more than 30 years. But today, on Wednesdays, we talk about the mental aspects of getting your whole financial life in order. And we say financial house in order, but when we're dealing with order, it trickles down to other aspects and parts of your life also. You know, I mean, it really do. It appears like it's one thing, but it has an effect on the other. You'll find that when you do one thing, it has an effect on the other. Like you put oil in your car, it has effect on a lot of other parts to keep them going in your car. You know, or if you're eating right, like I had a slice of pizza, leftover pizza for breakfast. It really affect me. You know, my downer, I have to struggle to say, no, I'm in charge. Census, I'm up. You know what I mean? That kind of thing. And y'all know me, I like to challenge myself. But then again, you know, I like to get off, you know, I like to deviate and whatever, but I can bring it back.
I love that you said you have to be in charge and say, census,
yes,
I'm going to wake up.
Oh, yeah.
Like, you're not going to defeat me. Because as you were speaking, I was thinking how much I'm really starting to ground into metaphysics. And I just love it because once you realize it's all just energy,
Yeah.
you could tell it what to do.
Oh, yeah.
So while you ate the pizza and it wasn't ideal for you to put that in your body first thing in the AM,
Slice.
a slice of pizza.
Slice.
Right. And so you start to feel the energy slowing down. You have the choice.
That's right.
You can recognize that. You can succumb to that and say, okay, you're slowing down. Let me go lay down. Let me go sit down somewhere.
Yeah.
Or you can say, oh, this is energy. Let me shift this energy.
That's right. I mean,
Let me get myself
It's like
up.
it's like walking up a hill. You didn't have a backpack, but all of a sudden you got a backpack. You got to walk up the hill with the backpack. It's going to be a little tougher. We're going to get up this hill.
But we're still going to make it up the hill.
That's right.
Right. Yes.
That's the
I
piece.
love that. And that's recognizing the energy that you are in control.
Yeah.
And that's recognizing what we talk about, the power of your thoughts.
Yes.
And how your thoughts precede manifestation.
Yeah. All
Oh
day
my
long.
gosh. I think that
All
we
day
just need to
long.
talk about that.
Yes. Yes. And see, so as I was saying, we're a total financial planning firm. And at the Henderson Financial Group, we believe that you never stop learning.
Mm-hmm.
We believe that it's impossible for you to know everything, so you continue. As sharp as we are, as sharp as we know about so many different aspects of financial planning, we know that there's more to come. Why? Because that's universal law. It's infinity. I mean, it's forever and ever. Good, better, best, never let them rest. I mean, that's just not a saying. That's real. That's how you keep sharpening your knife, and iron sharpens iron.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you continue to grow. So today we're talking about the law of compensation, because over the last couple of weeks, we've been talking about the universal laws, the invisible laws, because people are trying to break the law, trying to find an easy way, trying to connive, trying to scam. When you break the universal laws, you think you fooling somebody, but you cannot break the law. You only break yourself. Case in point, when we're talking about today, we're talking about the law of compensation. So I want you to understand why we're talking about this, because we're trying to give you that edge that most people won't tell you about or you've never heard of, especially your family members. And they don't teach us in college, okay? So we don't tell you what's our secret. it's an invisible fourth dimension world, fifth dimension. Okay. And it's understanding these invisible laws, and they govern your behavior and tell you what you can do and what you need to do. So the law of compensation basically says that you get what you deserve. And if you put, in other words, like a farmer, if you dig tomatoes, if you plant tomato seeds, don't expect onions, don't expect oranges, because you was the cause. You put tomato seeds in the ground, so you should expect, and it will, without a doubt, it is precise, tomatoes will come out of that ground. Okay, because you planted it. You got to be careful what you're planting. This is called the law of compensation. And I started to say later on today, we're going to drive up to Tampa for a workshop. And we know a lot of the people, but we're going to be talking about financial strategies and taxes and ways to help you even more. And we're going to be learning some things. We always get around people who are smarter than us, who know other things, because there's so much to know. There's nobody who can know it all. And we just like other people to have a different recipe of doing something. So we go around the country, the Henderson Financial Group, doing a lot of financial conferences, because every time we go, we come back and we learn something and we bring it to you.
For some reason, since you guys are going without me, this is like the first time y'all going without me.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like, I don't know if this happened to you, but like when a kid, their parents go out of town, they have the house to themselves.
Right.
That's how I feel.
I figured because you set it up like that. I knew that.
Can you feel that?
Yeah, I know.
I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm partying in the office.
And they're like, oh, hi, so we're going to miss you. You sure you not want to come?
I know. I was like, I'll see you next time.
Yeah, and then she coordinated and set up the hotels and told them all this. And I said, oh, she's enjoying this. She's like Home Alone. She's like Home Alone, Office Alone.
Yes.
I knew that.
But I'm going to be in my energy.
But I impress you. It's not impressing you.
Thank you for that, Father. But you guys are going to bring back all the information, and I'm going to get a lot of work done.
Yes.
I love that.
Yeah.
So let's go back to the planting seeds. When you were talking about planting seeds, and you cannot reasonably expect to plant, did you say tomato seeds? Tomato seeds and get onions, right, or cantaloupe. The beautiful thing is you have an abundance of seeds. And so let's say you were in a position where you planted seeds on concrete instead of fertile ground. Ain't that Matthew?
Yes,
right. You planted seeds on concrete, meaning you wasted your seeds, or you planted seeds and you didn't really tend to them. At this very moment right now, since you're learning about the law of compensation, you can plant new seeds. What are your seeds? Your thoughts. How do you tend to seeds? Your actions. How do you eat the fruit? How do you know when the fruit comes? What you see in 3D reality. So understand this. We are sharing with you that you only get what you're supposed to get. If you plant tomato seeds, you are going to only get tomatoes. You are not going to get cantaloupes. You are not going to get onions. You're not going to get avocado. You're not going to get pears. If you plant tomatoes, you're going to get tomatoes, right? However, if you decide, I don't know why I planted these tomatoes and I got acid reflux, I can't eat no tomatoes. As soon as I eat tomatoes, I got heartburn. Have no fear. Don't fret. You don't have to say, oh my gosh, and this is what a lot of people do. I planted these tomatoes, avocado didn't come up, and they keep beating the drum of the fruit that came up and what didn't come up. They keep complaining.
Right.
I'm stuck here. I got this deadbeat job, this deadbeat husband, these deadbeat friends, womp. So they keep staying stuck looking at the fruit, the crops of the seeds that they planted that they didn't want. We're asking you right now in this very moment, to make a decision and say, you know what? I know I planted y'all, but I'm gonna plant some new seeds. I'm leaving y'all. Yeah. I'm gonna plant me some new seeds because I want a new life with a new reality, a new manifested 3D reality. And all you have to do is plant new seeds. And the beautiful thing is you have all the seeds within you. You don't have to go ask nobody for a seed. You don't even have to go down to the Home Depot to buy a pack of seeds.
Well, the beautiful thing is when you're dealing with the universal laws, the invisible laws, there are no excuses.
Right.
There's nobody to blame.
Mm-hmm.
They can't say they're racist or prejudiced, mm-hmm, or because you black, or because you white, or because you Spanish or Asian. The universal law don't really, not a respect that. Remember, it's invisible. So you can't even say so-and-so is the reason why I wasn't picked, or so-and-so wasn't the reason why I didn't accomplish this goal. You cannot blame anyone. You can't say my mama, my daddy, my sister, my cousin, because the universal law is so square and even and just. It's all you. It's your thinking and it's your actions. It's not what you just say. You got to follow up with another universal law, the law of actions. What are you going to do about it? And then all of these laws, they don't really jive right with fear. They won't work
because fear is low vibrational.
Yeah.
And so fear suppresses you.
Yeah.
So there is no way that you can elevate and be fearful at the same time.
No.
So you cannot stand on the side of the pool and say, I'm going swimming, I'm going swimming. You suited and booted, baby. You got that swimming cap on. You got that 2-piece of them trunks. You got the flippers and the goggles. Like you already. You got your sunblock on.
But you ain't gonna jump in that water.
And you ain't. And everybody like, but hold on. You got all the gear. You don't took a selfie, put it on the internet.
Come back, say, I went swimming. Well, why you don't seem to be wet? Why I got
you,
all the gear? No,
you
got
can't
to
do
do
both.
it. You got to take that action.
You can't be in fear
good.
and you
good.
can't elevate, right?
That's good. That's good.
Yeah. So
so we talking about these today. We went over. If you go back and look at our post, our Facebook shows, and we started off with the 12 laws of karma. Then we went into the 12 universal laws. These are invisible laws, and you really should study them. You really should, because if you study them, things will start to come clear. Because you get blamed out the way. You got to be proactive. You got to get up and go. Now, just like I said, I mean, we're going over to Tampa today, and we got a workshop all tomorrow. Me, Tavares, Heisey not going.
Not me.
Heisey set it up, but she's not going. So she wants to be home alone, office alone, basically, and do her thing. But listen, the thing about it is that we are not going there to play. We're not going there expecting to get nothing. We already are going to this conference expecting to receive. Now, when we do receive, that's going to be the effect. The reason why we receive when we get there when the conference is over is because we caused it. This is the cause. So in order to get something better, anytime you want more and more, want better, you got to be in attendance. You got to be there. When Harriet Tubman says, I want to free the slave, and she said, I'm going to be here at 2 a.m. in the morning, y'all would be right here because we getting ready to go. You can't say, wait a minute, hold up. You got to say, okay, you can't sleep overtime. You got to be there. I mean, you have to cause the effect to take place. So if you're looking at yourself and you're unhappy with your state, your economic position, your prosperity, you got to do some looking in the mirror, and you have to say, listen, it's all me. And I'm going to do what I need to do. When you do that, it's no blame. You can't blame the children, your husband, your wife, whatever. You have to do it because you have 24 hours in a day. And let me tell you something. The good God gave all of us the same amount of time, 24 hours. Choose you, your thoughts and your actions. What are you going to do in those 24 hours? You really, the system is so good until they don't really have to have shackles and put you in slavery anymore. Now the system is so good, most people enslave themselves and blame it on others.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. You said something. I can't remember what it was.
Said a lot.
You said a lot, but it was very impactful. So thank you for saying all that you said.
The law of compensation.
We appreciate that. I want to talk about feelings and metaphysics. You started talking about how, blaming other people. Didn't you talk about that? You said that today?
Yes.
It's not my imagination.
Yeah, no.
Blaming other people and stuff like that. So I'm very excited about this. Just being in this space of understanding that, like, I can move this, I can move that, like however that works, right? So when you think about what we're talking about, the human side of you is going to act up a little bit. What I mean by that is the human side of you is going to try to guilt you into feeling like, oh, but I've always done it this way. Oh, but you've been known. I've been known as a tomato lady for all this time.
Habituals, habit.
Right? Yeah. I'm the tomato. And people will tell you, you're the tomato lady. Why are you trying to be the avocado lady now?
Avoid change.
Right? So the human side of you is going to act up a little bit, but you have to walk with the knowing that you can change your reality at any moment. Like, okay, listen, I know I was a tomato lady for 20 years, but now this is who I'm going to be. You can literally create a new identity. And I think that that is so powerful for you to understand, because as you start navigating this space and really getting to understanding energy and how you direct your energy. And when you direct your energy, you change your vibration. And when you change your vibration, you get to choose the frequency that you're vibrating at. All the fun stuff that you want, all the stuff in your dreams is at a higher frequency, right? So when you understand that, then you got to tell your human side. We talked about this 5 senses, right?
Yeah.
You got to tell your human side, sit down somewhere.
Because it's a battle. It's a battle.
Just sit down. Like, no.
It's an internal battle with yourself.
Because logic and metaphysics don't go together.
They're like oil and water.
Yes. Do you think they got that?
I don't know.
Run the tape back a few times, because that's the goodness. Basically, like I told my mentees, you're going to have to forget everything you know, forget everything they told you, forget the hearsay. You're going to have to be in the business and the habit of saying, that don't have nothing to do with me. That ain't my business. I don't want to hear nothing about that.
Well, it's kind of like, the oil and water, and what you're really saying is like when we talked about most people live in just only 3D. When all the action is the fourth dimension, and you can't see the fourth dimension. That's for everything. That's for development. That's for discovery. That's for building. That's for growth. That's what it all is. I mean, when you were 6 years old, you saw what you saw, but you couldn't see when you were going to be 21 years old. That's another dimension. It really is. And it's it really is another dimension.
Yeah.
But you in six-year-old dimension. Right. So and see, it's kind of hard for most people to understand it, but this topic that we're talking about, if you ain't got nothing to lose, if you ain't got nothing, you might as well study this.
You should definitely be the ones that are like, all right,
just be curious.
Birdman hand rub.
That's right. If you want more, you should be curious of something. Yes. Okay, give me a path, give me something so I can latch on to. Let me dive into this. Let me pick up what y'all putting down. I mean, because I want you to think about in terms of thought and growth and education and learning. When I say education, I'm not talking about the traditional TV dinner in the box, unthinking, memorization education. I'm not talking about memorization education.
That's schooling, right?
Yeah,
schooling, not education.
Right. Yeah. That's a big.
You got to go to school. Yeah.
Yeah, memorization to remember Paul Revere's birthday. It's not a whole lot, But think about this for a minute. Most successful CEOs in the country read at least 60 books a year. Now think about that. You only have 52 weeks in a year. So most successful CEOs are reading 60 books or more. So in other words, even a billionaire continues to unfold and learn. You don't have a lot of wealthy people saying, I know it all. Look at me. I don't need nothing else to learn. They're constantly learning. And they're constantly learning. Think about it. So how can you think that you can go from the first grade to the 12th grade and do a few years in college and you don't have to read no more book, you don't have to learn no more, and now you out here dealing in this world? No, man. You have cocked. You don't know. You need more. You got to continue to learn and sharpen your knife and evolve, because now we got Chat GPT, baby. You know what I mean? I mean, you got to understand that. You got to get engaged. Otherwise, you're going to be left behind, and rightfully so.
I'm glad you said that. Yeah, rightfully so.
Rightfully so. If you're not going to get engaged and you just want to just do what they're telling you, then we're constantly moving in the direction of the haves and the have-nots. That's
the law of compensation.
That whole Matrix, that whole Matrix movie is absolutely something to think about. Maybe
I'll have a Matrix themed birthday party when I turn 50.
Oh, okay.
Maybe I'll do that.
That's good.
Okay, back to it.
But think about what I just said. Today, we're going to a workshop. In other words, we're constantly growing. You have to be, if you are like Hyacinth said, if you're afraid of change, if you are a habitual
excuser,
as you said, and you find your life as being stagnant, you're not moving, you're not progressing, you're not getting what you want. You have the thoughts, but it's not showing up in your life. That is a sign that there's something for you to do. Yes, if you have a desire to even want more. Now, some people, listen, some people don't want nothing. They're happy and dumb. They're happy and broke. And there are a lot of people happy and dumb, happy and broke. We're not talking about you. We're talking about the ones who have desire and they want and they have dreams, but they don't really know what you need to do in order to get there. We're telling you, first of all, you got to start understanding these invisible laws, because just because I don't have eyes in the back of my head does not mean that there's no books back here. Okay? That does not mean that just because I can't see them, somebody else could see them. You all can see them, but I don't have eyes in the back of my head. I'd be a fool to say they're not there
And swear you up and down.
and swear you up and down that they're not there because I can't see it. So in other words, think about this. There's a lot of things that you can't see and you don't know that are out here. But if you close your eyes and say, no, I don't want to take that strategy because I don't know it. Well, I don't want to think differently because I want to think like I've always been thinking. Well, there is a science that says if you think and act the way you always have thought and act, it is impossible for you to get any other result than what you've been getting. And if what you've been getting you don't like, honey, you got to change your thoughts and your action. That's the law of compensation.
Yeah. 100%. Yeah. And so how do you, let's give them some tips, some pointers, some suggestions, or have the conversation around how you do that. Because I know Mr. Henderson is so easy. You be like, you just do it, right? That's what you like to say. Just do it. And the nurturer in me.
Because I like to, if you tell me 1 + 1 is 2, I ain't getting ready to
that's a special gift of yours.
You think so?
Absolutely. I mean, look at the people sometimes who call here and we say, listen, we have this phenomenal insurance strategy for you. We can use life insurance. We use life insurance in a way that builds generational wealth. It serves as a Swiss Army knife. It does all these things. And we show them in black and white. If you do this, this is how much you'll have. And you come back and tell us, nah, they say I don't need no insurance.
I talked to my cousin. And my cousin,
you said my Pookie on the porch?
I talked to my father and, is your father rich? No. Your father drive a cab? Yeah. And he told
me don't, because he listens to podcasts all day.
Wow.
And he told me don't do it, right? So a lot of times, back to my point, yes, not everybody grasps things very easily, even though it can make sense to you or to us. So I want to help the audience and nurture them a little bit.
You want to be Harriet Tubman. Good.
Here, not, hey, can you drag me along here? This is my Harriet Tubman work.
People that want to be saved.
On the masses, like one to many, not one to one.
If you want to be saved.
Right. Okay. So, what do you do? What if you're like, okay, I'm understanding what you're saying. I'm picking up what you're putting down. I'm going to plant new seeds. What is the next step? What are some of the things that they have to do?
I would think the prerequisite before you start, I think you need to get some instruction because this is new to a lot. This whole realm is new to a lot of people. I think that you can even Google or pick up some information on what are the universal laws, because they're invisible. And then what you want to do is learn how to play the game of life, because in order for you to navigate and get what you want, you cannot do that without knowing the 4th dimension, 5th dimension. You cannot know that without knowing cause and effect, reaping and sowing. You have to know what, and it tells you exactly. It's a map. So understand the universal laws. It's like you cannot drive nowhere in the country if you don't understand the signs on the road. Can you? Because if you don't know that you're supposed to stop, because you don't know what a stop sign is, you just keep driving, you're going to get in a lot of accidents. And then you're going to get
far.
You're going to have money and the police and all that kind of stuff. You follow me? So you want to know, okay, stop sign means stop. Okay, what does a red light mean? What does a green light? So these are man-made laws that we know. But the ones that you don't really know, we don't talk about, that really help you prosper, it's the invisible laws, and they're called the universal law. What is the law of compensation?
So delicious.
What is the law? Once you start understanding that, then you know that if you work in the correctional officer and they paying you $70,000 a year, but you're spending $80,000 a year, then you know you got to do something. You got to take some action. And it's called the law of action. I mean, but you have to first understand these laws. So then when you call the Henderson Financial Group, we do everything based on these laws. And what negates any of these laws is fear. And a lot of people say, listen, I'm ready. No, you got to have fear. The other one is you got to have discipline. You have to have fear.
You have to have fear.
Excuse me. You have to get rid of fear.
Mm-hmm.
You have to have discipline. Because when Harriet Tubman was trying to lead the people to the promised land, they had discipline to follow her. And they didn't have, listen, the rule was either you're going to come with me or you're going to die.
That's it. Make it plain. Make it simple.
That's
I like
it.
that.
That's it.
We ain't getting no other
That's it.
options.
That's
no
it.
1B.
That's it.
That's it.
That's it. So either,
Right.
so I guess we could say either you're going to get your financial house in order or you're going to be broke.
That's it. You're going to be financially independent.
That's right. Now, that is true.
That's it. There's no in between.
That is.
And your salary does not make you financially independent. Another way to say that, just because you make $80,000 a year, $100,000 a year, you could make $250,000 a year and still not be financially independent.
We see it all the time.
All day and twice on Sundays.
Right.
So when you think about it in that way, you have to ask yourself, what I'm doing leading me towards where I want to go, or is it keeping me stuck? So like Harriet Tubman said, either you come with me or you die. Right. That's it.
Right.
What's up? What you want to do? Ain't no in between, bro. This is not 2023 where you got all these options and we catering, coddling your feelings and stuff. Like, no, you come with me or you're dying.
But a lot of people died.
Yeah, it was their time to go.
And right
that
now,
was their time.
And right now,
a lot of people are dying financially.
Financially, a lot of people are dying. They're moving in the wrong direction.
Yes, especially with the way this blockchain and this crypto, everything blockchain is oh my gosh.
It's going to speed up death.
So you can sit there if you want to still be spending all your money and doing a funky Watusi if you want to. Like your actions are either moving you towards financial independence or poverty. That's it. There is no in between. There is no next week, next month, I'm going to save a little more. I'm going to do this. I'm going to stop my spending habits. You're either moving right now to financial independence with every decision that you make, every action that you take, or you're moving to poverty. I was having a conversation with somebody this weekend and I mentioned blockchain. The person said, what's blockchain? And I explained it, but in my head, I thought, oh my God, like people really do live in their own world.
Yeah.
They really do live in their own realities. It doesn't make it good or bad, but you got to know what reality you live in and how it is either helping you or hurting you. You keep looking at your phone. You got to go. No. Okay. So the law of compensation. So first you got to understand these laws. These are your takeaways. Understand the laws. Look up the laws, the 12 laws of the universe. You're going to have to look at them several times. Every time I read them, I study them, and I've been studying them for years. It clicks differently. I feel like in 2023, it has clicked the most it has ever clickety click clacked in my whole life, as long as I've been studying them.
Yeah, that's so good. I mean, but even now, and next year it's going to be even better.
I know. I'm looking forward to that.
And next year going to be even better and better.
But right now, I'm just like, this thing is clicking and clacking.
You know, when you ask me, what's the steps that people can do to understand and help them financially, you got to understand the invisible laws, because if you don't understand how to play the game, there's no way you could win. And there's no way you can be all you could be. And that reminded me last night, for the second time in 40 years, I played Monopoly here at the office at the end of the day with my grandson, who's 12 years old, who just got this. He just Watusi in this thing. You know what I mean? He just talk a lot of trash, man, like old days. He's 12 years old. He's young, is playing. And Tavares, Heisey, and my granddaughter, Kyla, and myself.
And Antonio.
And I am the newbie. I'm the oldest, but I'm the newbie. I haven't played Monopoly in 40, 50 years. And then I didn't play it a lot. My mother ain't had no money. We had no time for that.
He was out there being Junebug and
anyway. So, but when you think about the game of Monopoly, and Icy seems to know it very well, and Kyla really knows. Y'all play a lot, right?
Not as much as we used to, but during the pandemic, we used to play a lot.
Yeah, and Tavares Antonio, I'm the rookie in it. I would say I'm the least.
And you swear we're cheating you.
and the reason why, because they distract me and they land on my board, on what I own, and they just don't pay me. And they say, and once they go around, and I say, hey, then somebody land, they says, too late, you should have been paying attention. This is a metaphor for life. I mean, it really is, because until I understand how to play the Monopoly game, the real game, there's no way I could win. And I told them, I said, because you got to know when you want to buy houses, or you want somebody land on your square that you bought. They got to pay you rent. They won't pay you rent if you are not paying attention. I started playing my playlist on my phone, and I was playing some old goldies, and somebody was just landing on one of my squares, and all of them knew it, and they didn't, and they just looked at me and laughed and the music and danced and everything,
and then pay $1 or a dime,
and they ain't pay nothing. See, that's because in universal law, I'm using metaphor. That's how life is.
Mm-hmm.
That really is. If you're not paying attention, like Heisey said, blockchain or what is that? It's impossible for you to win. Now, I told them, listen, this is my second time playing. Every time I'm going to get better. And the first time was even worse. But yesterday, I was playing a song and I just kept on yelling out, pay me, pay me, pay me. Just in case
somebody landed on his stuff.
Somebody landed on stuff and I didn't see them. You know what I mean?
Right.
But the third time we play again, I'm going to get better. And I always told them, I'm like the turtle. Always in my life, I've been the turtle. And you know who always win? The turtle always win. Why? Because of consistency. All right. Stick-to-itiveness. All right. Determination. That's what you need. So I want you guys to look and understand these invisible universal laws and just Google them, pick them up. They're free. In other words,
give yourself grace. Repeat.
Yeah. And then apply it to yourself. The law of compensation, you know, the law of cause and effect, because these laws tell you there's nobody to blame. And if you really understand the laws, you can't blame anyone because it really goes back to you. This is your life. You got to get control and be engaged. Stop talking about the man, the woman, the job. A lot of y'all been working on the job. Y'all ain't got no life insurance on yourself. None. And when that job, when you retire or it gets bought out or whatever, or they change direction, you're going to be older and it's going to be hard for you to get burial insurance. I mean, and then they charge you a whole lot as you get older. The system take advantage of you. So if you don't learn this stuff, just like I love my family playing the game of Monopoly, I looked at them and I said, y'all not going to tell me?
Yeah, right.
I'm the oldest man. Y'all just going to manipulate me? Y'all going to tell me that you're not going to pay me? And they're like, this is how Monopoly is.
And listen to the word he said. And he literally said yesterday, y'all gonna manipulate me. Nobody manipulated him. Nobody manipulated him. He felt manipulated.
I was trying to blame them. And they kept saying, no, we love you, but this is the way the game is played.
Go pay attention or not.
So understanding universal laws, when you understand these laws, like the law of compensation, law of action, you can't say my daddy was a drunk or my mama wasn't there. That got nothing to do with your actions and you and your life ain't got nothing what to do. If you breathing, eating, sleeping, going to the bathroom on yourself, by yourself, you ain't need, in order for me to go to the bathroom, I need my mom and my daddy. You don't need them. So that's the indication. You're here. Stop thinking about the past and living in the past. Okay?
It doesn't matter. I tell my clients all the time, why are you bringing up the past? It literally does not matter. Especially when you are intentionally dealing with energy, frequency, and vibration. I'm going to keep drilling that in y'all heads. The past has nothing to do with your right now.
Who's that?
That's Patrick.
Why y'all? That's Patrick.
Why
y'all do? Patrick. They had absolutely no pity. I'm playing Earth, Wind, and Fire. I'm putting some music in the conference room. And we doing, and they just oh my God, they just like taking it, like just picking me. They just picking me like just picking me. I'm like, oh my God, because they know the game better than me. But I told them, listen, I'm gonna learn this thing. I'm gonna master it. Why? It's a challenge.
This how y'all sound when y'all be talking about the boss picking on me, my husband cheating on me. This how you sound, just like him. Whole time you ain't paying attention. Whole time you ain't doing your job. Whole time you slacking. That's how y'all sound.
IRS took my money.
Right.
All that.
And the thing about it is, my daughter, my 22-year-old, said, "Grandpa, I need to have a conversation with you."
She did.
And you still.
And she loves me. She like, Grandpa, I had money to pay you because I landed on your blog.
But you weren't paying attention.
But you weren't paying attention, Grandpa. And I'm looking at them, I'm like, Kyla, it's me and you, Kyla.
And she said, I'm going to pay you, but you need to get this lesson because next time I'm not going to do this. Guess what he did next time? We landing on that. Free rent.
But that's pretty much how
life works.
It really does.
Yeah.
You know, so you can't blame when you really get this stuff. you stop blaming everybody. It's all on you because you have the power, and the creator of the heavens and the earth made it like that. That you, it's all you. That's why,
Yes.
that's why the creator loves us, whether we black, white, green, yellow, whatever, it doesn't matter. The laws are the laws, and you need to follow the laws if you want good, better, best. Never let them rest
Until
until
your
your
good
good
becomes your
become your
better,
better,
and
and
your
your
better
better become
becomes
your
your
best.
best. Yes.
That's what I got, folks.
All right, y'all getting ready to hit the road?
Yeah,
Okay, I'm gonna miss y'all so much.
I know you are. You
I'm a-
home alone. You just
I
seem like
miss
you are.
you. Can
I
you
can
please
tell.
don't? Can you stay?
I can tell you're
Do
gonna
you
miss
have
us.
to go?
I got
Are
to go
you sure?
learn.
Are you sure?
I got to go get this. I got to go learn more and more and more because I know when we go to
Okay.
Tampa, after we come out of that workshop, we're gonna be fired
Yes,
up.
and it's gonna be great information. I love the guys up there. Shout out to my entire TriQuest family. Love, love,
Yes.
love y'all so much. I just need some me time.
All
All right, I'll catch y'all next time. We hope you enjoyed this broadcast. You may have to run the tape back. We know that we talked about a lot. We want you to run the tape back, take some notes. Also share it with your family. Don't be shy. Share it, share it, share it. It's not up to you if they like it, if they take action. When your life starts to change, they're gonna come back asking you, how you got all that? What happened? Like Miss Henderson, how you got all them houses? Well, we've been buying property, collecting our rents, and buying houses. People will ask you as they see you start to elevate. So you don't have to make anybody. You don't have to Harriet Tubman them say, "Is come with me or die."
Look at Broadway say broke people live in their own world.
Yeah,
They do,
they
don't
do. They do, and that's fine. It's perfectly fine.
Drunk and happy.
I'm not trying to disturb you.
Broken happy.
Yes. All right. Until next time, y'all. Peace.
Peace.